New creature revealed to join ARK Ascended. New premium gameplay modes to overhaul your ARK experience. And supposedly a total of 10 ARK additions to join the official roster. You're right, kids, it's Raasclark, and welcome to your regular ARK community news. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share around, and let's get into it. So Community Crunch 409 introduces us, as promised, to the Xiphactinus, although I just call it the Sphincter, easier way to pronounce it, but hey, maybe somebody in the comments can pronounce this one better than me. A big dirty fish that, in ARK Additions, the mod anyway, is a bit of a chief. We played with this quite a lot in the past, found out it's got some cool bleed attacks, grab attacks, and is joining ARK in the near future, with Wildcard telling us, remember when we announced that Ceratosaurus from ARK Additions has been integrated into the core game in the last Community Crunch? Well, yes, the fearsome Sphincter is next. Even though we may make a few changes to the design of the creatures from ARK Additions, these beasts are going to shake up the game in mid-May. Which of Garuga's creatures are you hoping to see integrated? Alluding more are supposedly coming as well. With its current description explaining lurking in the open ocean, these aggressive fish with appetites bigger than their bodies will blindly attack anything in sight, so need to act fast or become their next meal. Good to hear they've mentioned the pack boost as well. I believe they did have a pack boost in the original mod, and they go on to redirect you to Garuga's Discord server, where if you had joined it earlier in the week, you may have tuned into a stream by Garuga, giving us the lowdown on what he's bringing to the vanilla base game of ARK, and well, I'll let him speak for himself.
Being like, how can I say this? So 10 additions are being added. Those additions are, let me pull up the list. I'm like, there's so many creatures that honestly I blank too on like which ones I have out. I'm gonna be honest. Let me just double check. Okay, so the additions that are coming to ARK officially, in no particular order, I don't know the order that they want to release them in, are Acro, Archelon, Brachiosaurus, Ceratosaurus, Concave Venator, Cryolophosaurus, Dinosuchus, Dinotherium, Helicoprion, and Xiphactinus. It's basically like the 10 that were available in ASE. I guess that's how you can look at it, right?
So hopefully Garuga had the go-ahead to mention this. I'm sure he did. I'm sure I'm not getting him in trouble to mention this. But yeah, most of the ARK additions are coming to ARK at some point in the future, joining, of course, the Ceratosaurus that was teased last weekend, with an expected launch by mid-May, and a guess that the rest of these, including the Sphincter, are going to drop perhaps in order as they were revealed in these crunches after that. We've got the Helicoprion, a shark with a very unique taming mechanic and something that allows you to gamble any pre-made loot into the possibility of becoming BPs, though with a chance of losing them entirely. A very, very fun mechanic, and also very frustrating one at that, but a very cool addition if they do keep that in the base game. The Dinotherium, a big giant beer-hungry elephant that flaps its ears at you and has a variety of different buffs. Very cool addition on top, and hope everything about this one makes it through. I think this one's quite balanced. The almighty Brachiosaurus, which will definitely get some form of a nerf, because we have seen this thing decimate to bases the damage output in the mod. There's no way that's going to carry you through to vanilla ARK, but this thing is just a monster to look at in game. You've really got to go and see it for yourself. The Archelon, a very tanky sea to land turtle that has some unique abilities surrounding farming biotoxin in the bucket load and getting a buff when it kills jellyfish in the process. The Cryolophosaurus, which was an absolute treat when we first checked this out, having some torpor dealing abilities, able to knock out creatures if you really pump that melee up. I think this is a cool new way around KOing dinos, and I do hope that ability carries through for this. And again, it's taming mechanic is a really frustrating one, but a great one to pull off. The Concavinator, which I imagine we might see change quite a bit, seeing that it's got a lot of similarities with the now included 2 Scorched Earth Facilosuchus, and tamed in a very similar way with you unearthing it with explosives. Though perhaps because it's a smaller creature, more adapted to caves, perhaps they will keep all of these abilities with this one. The Dinosuchus, which has something called a Gigabyte, which as you can imagine is a monstrous chomp. A great feature, a great creature, great to see this one. Definitely one you'll be scared of if you see in the wild, and one you'll definitely want to tame, though I probably expect them to nerf the Gigabyte on this one. And the Acro, an absolute monster comparable to the Giga and Karkars of the world. A chief to take down with some kind of enraging mechanic where you have to shoot it, and it's got some wicked stomp attack that I really hope transpires through to the main game. And if that happens, maybe we might even see the Savage Acro, which is the boss alternative version of this. I'd love to see that as something you had to beat. Perhaps maybe with some of these mod maps that are coming out. Perhaps with some of these mod maps like the Center and Ragnarok that repeat the same creatures from the island. Perhaps they might change it to something like this, a boss version of the Acro. But this thing tamed is a monster. And again, probably expect that one to be nerfed too. But a real joy to hear all of these creatures coming to Vanilla Ark. Garuga certainly makes creatures as comparable as the ones in the base game. We've checked out these in depth in ASE, most of them in ASA. A few new ones I definitely want to see soon, and they are easily worth being added to the main game. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be excited to hear these are coming to you at some point over the next few months. A lot of creatures, a lot of brand new creatures to join even the new creatures that are coming with the new maps when they drop too. Happy days for everyone. I think I did see 1 or 2 people concerned about these actually being added, and would like to understand if any of you have that concern and why. Please do comment below about that. Me, myself, I'm very hyped, very excited to see all of these. Oh, absolute monsters. They've got to be rebalanced without a doubt. Got to be nerfed a little bit. But either way, in the base game, awesome to see. GG wildcard, absolute win. There was a giant amount of patch notes this week for Scorched Earth. I am sure you may have already heard about it. There's definitely too much to list here, in my opinion, but some standout ones especially is the weather, of course, is now by far nerfed from what it was. No repeat weather storms, though the sandstorm is always a pleasure to see, though very, very much spaced out. I feel like it's even more nerfed than the weather effects on ASE. I think they're perhaps a bit too nerfed. I'd have probably said just, half the time that they were originally, but this is where we're at the moment. Maybe we'll see them increased as time ticks on. And the Thyla is finally fixed. You're able to move around on this thing as intended, able to climb as intended. Though, with this fix, a brand new, very pretty funny game bug appeared where you can propel the Thyla at extraordinary speeds to beat perhaps even the Maywing itself. Look at the state of this. When I first saw this, I was rolling on the floor laughing, and I'm sure you will be too. Look at this. Look at it. I ain't gonna lie, I quite like this. They're so gonna patch this out. But dude, honestly, if you can go and try this out yourself now, all you gotta do is keep spamming the jump bar out in the desert and just watch the Thyla fly. It's the best bug I think I've ever seen from a patch, because normally we see 1 or 2 bugs from each and every patch. This one, keep it in, man. They won't, but keep it in. It's too funny. It's too cool. Yeah. And a pretty massive gameplay changing premium mod by a well developed and a pretty giant gameplay changing premium mod developed by a game studio known for working on Fortnite games in the past has just dropped, called Enclave R, where you'll be tasked to claim the skies, claiming and outfitting your own skyscraper bases with over 120 new items, extremely dangerous jungle floors, an all-new progression system, and battle in the skies. Apparently PvP will be happening in the skies, skyscraper to skyscraper, tribe to tribe, for access to the biggest skyscrapers and best resources. Sounding a bit like the floor is lava crossed with tower defense with a bit of PvP on top. Certainly an interesting new addition, and being developed by a game studio that has experience. Another one to join Survive the Ark that we got about a month or so ago. I think it's great to see like these giant actual studio based game changing mods dropping, and if they're really going to draw an audience to see even more mods like this in the future. Dropping in at $10 to purchase, along with Raasclark Premium that just got announced as well at $10, a brand new map. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Well, only time will tell. You get to review these and thumb up, thumb down, give it reviews, positive or negative, on your experiences with this if you do get to purchase this. And I've got to go and check this one out myself as soon as Monarchy's wrapped up, as well as Raasclark. These premium mods are definitely piling up, but is it enough to keep the players invested? Is it enough to keep the players interested? Well, there's 55,000 downloads for Svartalfheim Premium at the time of writing. Survive the Night, though that's not completely reflective of the full downloads, because re-downloads account as a second download, etc. But, you know, Survive the Night got 7.4k downloads, and Enclave's already got just over 800 downloads currently. So, yeah. Whilst it is paid premium content, the content's certainly coming in some form or other, and the centre, as far as we know, is still dated for June the 3rd, which is going to come by quicker than we think. It is less than a month away. And I'll leave you with this, a mod by a good friend of mine, Aaron Longstaff. You know who we do those weird charity streams with each year. Made a mod all by themselves called Western Decor, with over 200 items featured in a cross-play mod to tailor for a Western experience, from things like crafting benches to hitching posts, wheels, gallows, blackboards, picture frames, wanted posters, wall signs and water towers. There's a lot of things here if you're definitely tapping into the cowboy theme that was offered with the Bob's Tall Tales expansion pack that dropped with Scorched Earth. So now some time has gone past since this has dropped. I'm really interested in hearing your feedback surrounding your thoughts on this. Has it been worth it? Do you think it was worth it? Was the Oasis Saw as overpowered as we thought it was going to be? Me personally, I don't think it was. It's a nice, cool addition. Yeah, it's a nice, cool addition. Certainly all the Western stuff we've tapped into with Monarchy, which is ending pretty soon, and I hope you look forward to the finale for that when it comes around. Until the next one, my name is Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and as always, peace out.